I'm gonna wait for the live to pick up, but either way it goes, I'm going to go ahead and just get into this message. I thought I was gonna, have a message for yesterday, because I have 3 separate channels, and with each channel, there was 3 different messages given, but each message, pretty much, the message already had a kind of like an alignment to it, okay? So the alignment to the messages, I feel like they're going to make sense for those who it's going to make sense to. This will be a divine collective message from Source God. It has nothing to do with love, romantic energy. This isn't that type of reading. So I'm not asking about where somebody is with you, how they feel, none of that. This is a message that did not make sense. It did not make sense to me. I had all these weird things happening to me within the course of, since 2020, all these strange messages popping up. Okay, so I have 3. Yes, I have a divine feminine collective, or really a collective of women. It's called my Queen Esther channel. So Queen Esther Tarot, and then I have officially Chenoa, the Celebrity Psychic Insight Read channel. So yeah, those 3 channels. I had a message for each, and Spirit told me that somehow they were all going to somehow align. And I thought I was going to have a message for this channel yesterday, and I was guided to just rest yesterday. And on top of that, I was doing a lot of clearing, so I wasn't in the space to even do it. So I'm like, okay. And it makes sense as to why I wasn't able to do a reading yesterday on here. Hey Mimi, hey Jade. Simply because things just had to come together. And today, I got a whole revelation. So I'm not going to drag this out, you guys. You guys can take this with a grain of salt. Back in May of 2020, I'll post it in the, I'll post it in the community tab. So back in May of 2020, I had a dream, like a crazy dream, and you guys can find this reading on my channel. I did a reading May 30th, 2020, and it was called Universal Tower Moment, Divine Mama Popping Off. And before I started the reading, hey Jamila, before I started the reading, I went into this strange dream that I had, and I was guided to share it, and it freaked me out. And the dream was pretty much talking about this concert or this festival where it would be like all these different artists there, and it was just like this scary energy, people getting locked into a venue, being gassed and being suffocated, and I had to warn people, don't go in there, and people were laughing at me like, okay, whatever. And then fast forward, the Travis Scott thing came out, and I said, God, is this related to that? Because something was warning, like I told people, like, be careful about going to these concerts. Like, don't be so quick to go to these concerts. Like, be discerning. Not saying that you shouldn't have fun and go out, but you got to be discerning of where you go. And I distinctively remember saying festivals and like concerts and venues, like, be careful of that, right? And Machine Gun Kelly was one of the artists that popped up. And I'm sorry to say, but like his energy is so dark. And at that time, I don't know if he was fully, like he changed his whole genre of music, and his whole like swag and everything was different. And then years later, him and Megan Fox, their energy is just like, like no, I don't think it's cute. And I think that people are liking Satanist or demonic energy cute. It's not. And fast forward, you got what's her name? 𝗥𝗲𝗱𝗆. What's her name? 𝗥𝗲𝗱. I think that's how you say her name. A rapper named 𝗥𝗲 from, I think she's a Memphis rapper. And she had an incident where a couple of people from her concert got injured, and I think one died, if I'm not mistaken. And then you had the Lil Uzi Vert said, I think it was Lil Uzi Vert and Playboi Carti, where people were saying they had to leave because the energy was off. People were like tripping out. And when I seen videos of some of the people, they looked like they were freaking possessed, y'all. Like, and I know what demon possession looks like because I've seen people demonly, like I've seen it with my own eyes. It is real. So it's a energy that's around that I feel, because this is the message that came to me. For one, I don't want to be all over the place. I'm trying to piece this together. I had this weird dream last week, I think it was last Wednesday. I had this dream where I was outside. I think I was with my cousin's kids. She has 2 small children, and we were out going to the pool, or we were intending to go out to the pool, and it was like a community. And all of a sudden, frogs were falling from the sky, just falling out. Sometimes it could be a positive message. It could be a message of abundance and stuff like that. But then it can also represent like bad energy or negative energy. It could be like demonic energy, spiritual attacks. But immediately when I woke up, I knew what it was, because I have a fascination with the story of Moses. So I already knew what that was. And one of my favorite movies growing up was The Prince of Egypt. So I already knew what that meant. I knew that it represented one of the plagues. When Pharaoh would not let the Hebrews go, and Moses kept warning him that each and every time you disobeyed, then there was going to be something bad, catastrophic that would happen to the land of Egypt. So one of the plagues was the frogs. So I woke up and I recalled a conversation that me and one of my spiritual sisters had, where she was talking about, we're in the book of Exodus. Fast forward, I had a conversation with someone else Saturday. Same thing. She mentioned the Exodus, and I was like, I had a dream. Like it was weird. And then I see a post yesterday, or live yesterday, from a prophetic voice that I watch saying, Pharaoh, let your people go, or let the people go. I'm like, okay, this is getting a little too much. Then fast forward today, someone made a post talking about the book of Exodus again. And she made references to covering the doors. So if you remember, there was an instruction that Moses had to cover each and every door with the blood of a lamb, if I'm not mistaken, or sheep. Cover each door, because so the spirit of death would not come in your house, because it was going to take out every firstborn, male or female, was going to take out every firstborn in every household. So he warned Ramesses. He said to the Pharaoh Ramesses, if you don't do this, it's gonna take out everyone. Of course, Ramesses was stubborn. He didn't listen. His firstborn was taken out, and that's what caused him to let them go. At first, he made that decision. Okay, y'all can just go. Get the hell out of here. Take your people and get out. Right? So that came to me today, because Spirit kept pressing this on me, like kept pressing it and kept pressing it. Back in 2021, November 30th, it's something with that number 30, because I had that, the dream, I shared it May 30th in that reading I just told you about in 2020. Fast forward November 30th, 2021, I was guided to buy the book of Torah. The Torah, which is known as the 5 books of Moses. It has Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers, right? So those 5 books are included in the Torah. I was guided to buy this book November 30th. Spirit told me to look up when I bought the book for a reason. And I was like, okay. So I put the date in Google search. First thing that popped up was from this website called theweek.com. 10 things you need to know today, November 30th, 2021. And it's talking about the President Biden saying that I'm going to call it the 𝗟𝗡 variant, is a cause for concern but not panic. The The CDSC strengthens its recommendation for the Rona booster shots and more. Okay. My sis, one of my spiritual sisters told me that the Pharaoh is Biden, which makes sense. I'm going to get into this because it's all going to make sense. I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm going to pull, I promise, because I know y'all got to see it to believe it. It might be more to this. But one of my other friends, last night, she was talking about how she was, I guess, watching a podcast. And if I'm wrong, Nina, correct me. If Nina ever watches this, let me know. I believe she was watching a podcast. Either way, it was something that she was watching where it was a Caucasian male going into black neighborhoods, paying people to get these shots, right? And y'all remember back then where they had the rappers, they had the artists, they had pretty much all these franchises. Oh, you get a free meal if you get the shot, or you get a free PlayStation, or you get I'll give you $1 million if you take the shot. And it was being heavily marketed to people. It made me think of the story of Moses again in the book of Exodus, where all any baby boy was to be taken out. They would slaughter every male child. So that was a command and order by the Pharaoh at that time. So this is playing out in real time. Like, I'm not trying to make this a conspiracy. I'm just giving it as I'm guided to give it. I'll never forget. Yeah, it was giving out everything to entice. So there's something with that, right? It was like a command. It was like an attempt. But the thing is that it didn't work. For one, it didn't work. It didn't do anything really. And whatever they're trying to stop, it's not going to work. And I feel that for those of you that resonate, where you feel like you are meant to be of some type of help to people, it doesn't have to be on a large scale, but large scale, lower scale is subjective. Like, your level of influence is really just based off of someone else's opinion and interpretation. You might not think you're doing enough. Somebody else might be like, you're doing the damn thing, and vice versa, right? So it doesn't really matter the scale of it. It just is it's the intent, it's the will, and it's the call to it. The name Moses means to draw out. So you guys might be meant to pull people out of dark places. And I say this all the time, y'all. This message, it keeps coming, that some of you, whoever you are, you know who you are. You're meant to be placed in certain spaces where there is darkness. And you are called to be the light there. Whether it's in your family, whether it's at a job, place, a business that you're in, whether it's your calling, whether it's through writing a book, whatever it is, every opportunity that you feel led to be the light in some instance, or be a living example for someone, because people watch you. You're being watched by people. You're being led as an example, and not to say that you're not human, because you are. Moses fought with his calling. He didn't feel like he was capable of it. You know, he said, I got a speech impediment. I'm a criminal. I can't go back. I can't do this. But with God, there is a way. If there's a will, there's a way. Okay? So, you're called to be an intercessor. You're not doing this by yourself. You never were. You're not doing it alone. And there's something with the number 30 too, because I noticed that I recorded that video talking about the dream I had. That was May 30th, 2020. I bought that Torah book November 30th, 2021. But Spirit made it very clear to me that anybody that is still siding with evil energy or condoning it, you're just as guilty as those evils that you're siding with. Because there's judgment that's coming to people. People that are public figures and people in power, you're going to see things happen that it seems like it's a movie. Like, it's going to be weird. It's going to be crazy. I had another dream back in 2020. This was before the the shots even were administrated, or even a shot was even a thing at the time. There was no shot available at all. I had this dream of Mr. Billy Gates, and I seen him in the spirit room doing stuff that he was not supposed to be doing, like he was tampering with stuff in the spirit room. And he was letting people, like, because I feel like the name Gates itself is gateway. He was letting only certain people into this portal that he was opening up. And in the dream, of course, it was Caucasian people, but I feel like that's metaphoric. I don't feel like it's just Caucasian people. I feel like it's people of that ranking or that status, or maybe bloodline, maybe it is. But these people got to pay for what they've done. Nobody is exempt. And it's funny because you have all these things taking place where all these people of power are trying to play God, and then you have the lower level people like the entertainers. They're not quite on the level of some of these higher stature people, where some of them think that they're gods, and they're playing with all this dark energy, and y'all going to their concerts and shit, and y'all all obsessed with them and all of that, and they using y'all like God asked for a living sacrifice. The enemy asked for a death sacrifice, like dead sacrifices. So the devil, the enemy, whatever you want to call it, always does everything in opposition. So again, like, these people think they're getting away with shit. They're not getting away with it. No one is exempt. None of us are exempt from anything that is not of our highest good. And here is where Spirit was like to tell people to cleanse your home, cover your homes, okay? Whatever's happening, I made a post on the community post maybe a week or two ago where I said, when the world is in chaos, you remain in peace and in wisdom. You don't freak out. You don't get in panic mode and fear. Oh, this is failing. This is happening. The banks is doing this. This is happening. This is that. You don't get caught up in that. Cover your home, your family. I specifically heard pray over your house, your doors, specifically your windows. Anything that represents like a portal or a gateway in your house. Always cover your energy and your loved ones, and you're protected no matter where you go. You're protected. If Spirit calls you to do something, do it. Listen to your intuition. You're not going to be of any use if you're in a place of fear. And I understand that, you know, one thing that we've learned from the pandemic was that anything could happen, but we're still here, right? And some of us were not, you know, didn't make it to the other side for whatever reason. And there's reasons for that may go beyond our human understanding or comprehension. But my point is this, that no matter what goes on, whatever happens in the world, if you're divinely in that place of protection and you take heed to your inner guidance, your inner compass, you're going to be fine. Okay? And whatever is meant to happen, it's meant to happen. There's no sense in freaking out and worrying about it. Okay? What you're seeing is just prophecy. That's all you're seeing. It's unfolding. It's just prophecy. And evil is not going to prevail. It seems like it is, but it's not. It's not going to. It was never in the plan to. Which is why it rears its ugly head, and it seeks to live its time on earth up to the fullest and wild out to the fullest. But it's temporary fulfillment. You got to be crazy to forfeit a temporary experience over everlasting life. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about like some Christianity type of interpretation or definition of that, but you're sacrificing a little bit of yourself and your soul for things that don't matter when you leave this planet, when you leave this earth. It doesn't matter. And we all have to answer to certain things. So are you going to be able to answer as to why you had all of this money, all of this power, all of this, whatever you were given, but you decided to spend it on frivolous things, or to shit on the poor, or to flex in front of the poor, to not do your due diligence. Like, you decided to do that. Or because you want to be famous, you'll sacrifice people that you so-called fans just so you can get a little bit of clout, so you can win a golden statue of an idol, one of your idol gods, for a temporary time or moment, just to say, look what I got. Okay, gonna have to answer for that. So I would say pray for some of these people. Rather than worshiping them and all of that, pray for some of them. Even the ones that do know what they're doing, still pray for these people. The divine is only going to continue to show up and show out, and like really show who's boss. The more and more people rebel and, like, you know, try to destroy the planet, destroy the earth, destroy people, and keep people enslaved and trapped and stuck in this bubble. I'm not going to say the word because I don't got time for the bots. Y'all can kiss my ass. But keeping us in this system, right? Look, worship, idol worship. Y'all better quit. We don't worship nobody. I don't care if it's Whitney Houston. I don't care if it's Elvis. I don't care who it is. You don't worship nothing or anyone, living or dead. Yeah, this is already written. This is already prophecy. See the lion fighting the goat? That's, you know, if some people identify with calling it the Lion of Judah. And then you have the enemy. You want to call it Satan. You want to call it Lucifer. You want to call it the evils of the world. Whatever you want to call it. It's already been prophesied. It's already been written. Some of you guys will be called to help someone in power, especially if you guys are like what we call mediums, or you have the gift of interpreting dreams. Yeah. I don't know if it's about to be an influx of rodents or something. I don't know. Or like something with a palace or something where there's like an infestation of something, or like something weird. Like, I don't know. There's a queen here. The 8 of Cups in reverse. Somebody, if you are I'm getting like, I mean, you could be any sign, but I was about to say a fire sign. Some of you guys, or even a water sign, could be earth, could be pretty much any sign. You're being guided to step away from some type of environment. Could be like a hangout spot, could be people that you socialize with, could be just acquaintances, or people that maybe you, it's something with like music. Maybe y'all get drunk, y'all smoke, or something. It's something that Spirit's trying to call you away from or out of. Okay, look, they over here playing chess, but I'm getting like the streets, you know, they play dice. I'm getting something about an environment that you're being, because this came out in reverse, you're being called to walk away from. People that mean you no good, that don't mean you well. The 4 of Pentacles. I'm telling you, you guys. Listen, I'm not trying to like, because when I say these things, this isn't to give myself credit, glory, to flex and be like, oh, I know this and I know that, because I don't really know anything. At the end of the day, I don't know anything. I only know what I know at the time, at the moment, but that doesn't mean I know everything. I don't. So, if I'm not mistaken, this is when Ramesses' son, his firstborn, he had to bury his son. And I'm seeing this Four of Pentacles as like slavery and work, struggle. Whoever these people are in power, I'm telling you, like they are not exempt from some type of like divine judgment on them. They're not exempt. And some of them don't even care about their family, their kids. They'll put them up for, they'll sacrifice them in a second. They don't care. Some of them don't care because they care about power so much. But the one thing that might really, really mean something to you, like truly matter, like whoever these people are, power, that one thing that matters and means something to them, it could be stripped in an instant in a way that they never thought. Like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Because you think you're so powerful. You think that you're God, or you think that your gods favor you so much that the ultimate most high God can't play you, won't set you on your feet, won't sit you on your ass. You crazy. Crazy to think that. I haven't used this deck in a minute. I'm about to. Crazy. Like, I pray that these people turn their hearts around. The Emperor, yeah. Pharaoh energy. The Queen of Swords in reverse. I feel like this represents karmic energy. You see the book in the back? Something that's already written, ordained. Something with like goddess energy coming. I'm getting like some type of goddess being worshipped. Like a fertility goddess energy or something. Something with owls too. That owl stands out to me. Because it's like there is about to be a rise of divine feminine energy, but just as there is divine feminine, there's also the demonic feminine energy too. That everything that the Most High creates, the enemy duplicates it in a tainted, distorted, sick, evil way. So I'm getting something with that too. I'm just a messenger, y'all. I'm just a messenger. Two of Swords. The Wolf. Okay, so some of you guys, you're being, it's like parts of you is being separated so that you can come into true self. It's like you have to let go of an aspect of yourself. And some people, I feel, before I say that, the Lovers, the Prince of Wands. I'm seeing all kind of stuff. Seeing that there's a split between, like I said, divine feminine energy versus dark. Like when I say dark, I mean like demonic dark energy. There's a split between that two, the two of that energy, because I'm getting that there's some type of fight against partnerships as well. So like these gender wars between male and female, that's going on as well. It's something to destroy divine love as well, because there's power in that, even with this Lovers card. The true essence of that is being tainted as well. I'm seeing more men taking on feminine energy, but not feminine energy as in harmonic balance. It's coming from a place of like costume. It's coming from a exaggerated form of femininity. It's something about it could, I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody, but I am getting a lot of transgender agendas, and some of that I do not rock with. I don't agree that children should be exposed to these types of things. I don't agree that children should be given that permission to say they want to change and mutilate their bodies before they even know what's what. They don't even know what their PP looks like. They don't even know what, they don't know anything about that to say, I want to be something. Like, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. This looks like a male dressed up as a woman. There's like this gender war going on. I'm getting from that. And it's deeper than that. I'm getting a split of the mind. Like, y'all, I don't mean to get too much into this, like too far on the deep end, but there's a lot of people are not in their right minds right now. They're not. Some people's mentally, I'm getting like mental, like their mind is split. The best way that I can describe this is like mind altering, where you have to split your consciousness and your mind in order to insert different identities and different alter egos and things like that. This is the thing that I'm getting. I don't know if that's possible to do through a collective of people rather than doing it hands-on, like in some type of mental institution or medical center or something. I don't know if you're able to do that collectively with people, like let's say through music or through television or through magazines and stuff, where you're brainwashing the people. There's something about splitting the consciousness in a way that it's causing people to kind of like take on ideologies and things that are meant to cause destruction and separation. The Hangman in reverse kind of looks like 𝗟𝗡𝗀𝗃𝗃. Some people say 𝗵𝗵𝗱𝗶, but this, I don't get 𝗵𝗵𝗱𝗶, I get 𝗟𝗡𝗀𝗃𝗃. So some people messing with certain things that they haven't been called to, spiritually messing with certain deities that they have not been called to. There's a lot of energy of correction. Okay, like I said, we all have it to where none of us is perfect. We can always do better and correct ourselves in any state, any shape or form, anything, whether it's religion, whether it's spiritual beliefs, whether it's sexuality, whatever. I do see something with, I don't know why Jennifer Lopez is coming to me and Halle Berry is coming to me. I don't know what that has to do with anything. You guys, I don't mean to like, I just like word vomit. Okay, 10 of Cups. This is like family structures. The 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, there's all kind of agendas. Like, I'm picking up a lot of different things. Like, I just heard transhumanism. Worshiping false gods, I just heard. Yeah. Yeah, Benita, I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. Like I was picking up to where people can have their minds split and altered, not hands-on personally, but like a collective of people, like a wave. And I know you can do that with music as far as like sending waves of frequencies or energies to like put people in different levels of consciousness or moods and things like that. I know that's possible. But as far as like the splitting of the mind, I don't know if you could do that on a collective scale. If somebody knows, you can answer that. I'm open to it. The World. It's the last card I'm going to pull from this deck. So this is like an end of an era, an end of an age. It is. Okay. Some of you guys might be having dreams about like catastrophic things. Don't freak out. It may not be literal. Sometimes it's just like a metaphor for something coming to an end, some type of change happening in this world or earth. There's a lot. And it's always going to be something, y'all. It's always going to be something. As long as humans been on this planet, there's always been so many different things that have happened. Some of it may be a little bit more prevalent, a little bit more like dramatic than some experiences or moments, but there's something with the children too. I feel that the children are heavily targeted because this age of children, there's a lot of gifting, divine provision and trailblazer, divine initiation and chosen. Yeah, a lot of you guys, you already know, maybe you've already pulled on, when I get this card, it doesn't have to be divination as far as like cards and stuff like that. Some form of spiritual, like you've sought out some type of spiritual guidance or information, whether you ask specifically about your purpose. It's kind of like where Morpheus takes Neo to the oracle and asks if he's a chosen one. It's like you sat down asking a question, but maybe you didn't get the answer that you wanted to hear outright, or you asked something, let's say you asked for a love reading and then that messenger told you something about your life. It had nothing to do about love or romance or a person that you asked about. It's like you already know. You already been given some type of vision or insight, and Spirit's going to give you some type of instructions to move you along your path. What you're doing is it's not yet been done before with the Trailblazer. Your walk, your path is a divine one. It's not earthly. It has nothing to do with what everybody else has got going on. Like, please understand this. And I say this to myself too. We want to fit into the norm of society and say, okay, I can drop a video and a post. I could put all the hashtags that work for everybody else, and this person gets 50K views in 3 hours, where I can only get 50 views in 3 hours. You're not meant to model or shape your path off of anyone, regardless of whether it's going to be the same results as them or not. Your path is not determined off of the world. It's not. You've been chosen to be a trailblazer. When you've been chosen, it doesn't mean that you're better than anybody else. It just means that you're called to a different standard. Sometimes you're being chosen. It does require discipline. It does require that tough love, because it's like, let's put it this way. If your parents didn't care about you, they would just let you just run in the streets all night. Like, let's say you're 5 years old and you want to stay out past when the street lights come on. If your parents didn't love you, they would just let you roam the streets all late at night. But a parent that loves you and is protecting you will set standards for you. Somebody else's mom and daddy might say, oh, it's okay for you to stay out a little bit past the street lights. That's dangerous. Like, it's crazy people out here. So you're called to a different standard that may require a little bit more responsibility than the next person. You know what I mean? So there's levels. You're always evolving. You're always ascending and growing. You're always expanding. And the path is like you're the initiator. There's no one before you that's done something or is like you. You are your own person. You are your own individual. You have your own unique gifts and callings. There's no one ahead of you that maybe you have to model after, and that's okay. You might find bits and pieces of people that you feel like, oh, I resonate with that. That's like me, or they remind me of me, or that's kind of like what I'm able to do, or they have similar gifts as me. And those are people that to encourage you. But the way forward is you're setting the tone for those that may come after you, that may go through the same experiences that you have gone through. And the children that are here and will be coming, they're trailblazers too. Kids these days don't think like how we think, whether that be in a way that you don't necessarily agree with in a negative sense, or in a sense of you just don't understand it. But you have to be okay with your journey. And not to say that you won't have your ups and downs and you won't have questions, you won't get frustrated, you won't get sad, you won't, go through those moments. But it comes to a point where you have an understanding. Even if you shout, you pout, you cross your arms, you kick your feet, you cry about it, eventually you'll get to a certain point where it's like, okay, I understand that this is a part of my journey. It is a part of the journey. And it gets lonely sometimes, but when it feels like you're lonely, that's when you need to draw closer to yourself and closer to your creator, which is never far from you, because your source God is within you. It's not separate, far from you. It's not far. So I'll say this again, because this is a message that God gave me. Well, I posted that on the community post for a reason. When the world is in chaos or panic, or however I worded it, is in panic, you remain in peace and in wisdom. Always seek understanding and wisdom from source, because man doesn't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. We're human at the end of the day. Yet and still, we're still human. So I don't know everything. I really don't. There's times where I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. What am I supposed to be doing right now? Why is this happening to me? There's moments where I don't understand everything. I don't. It gets frustrating. And I might seek out somebody that I think might know. And sometimes God will have it to where they can't help me. They can't. And I should know better to be like, okay, God has all the answers. And just because I knock on that door doesn't mean it's going to be opened immediately when I knock. So just ask Spirit, what are you asking of me, or where am I supposed to be at this time? Because sometimes we think that because there's nothing happening in our life, seemingly happening on the surface, or we're not busy in these streets, we ain't doing this, we ain't doing that, that there's nothing happening. We're just failures at life, or we gotta be doing something, we gotta be, making it happen. Because we live right now in this society, like our grandmamas, our aunties, our kids are content creators. At 3 years old, you can be a content creator. Like anybody nowadays. And it's like this thing, this thirst to constantly have something to do, something to show, something to share, something to post, something to say, something to write. And that will burn you out. And I know that for a fact. Like sometimes where I be thinking, okay, I got to post something today. I'm not a robotic person. So naturally coming on YouTube, I might have moments where I can come on every day and post something, or I could post multiple videos or readings a day, or it might be a time where I got to take breaks in between, because naturally Spirit speaks to me to maybe deliver a message, or just to sit down and let the message come as it flows. And there's times where it's like there's nothing to say, and I just be like, okay, put my cards down and just leave it alone. Because I don't feel like it's natural to do that to yourself. It will cause a burnout. And sometimes I be feeling tired. I be feeling that pressure. Like, I got to create something. I need to post something. I don't post enough. I don't do this enough. Oh, maybe I should post. No. You're going to burn yourself out. Like, we got to be present. And especially if you're going to be busy, like Spirit's going to be using you, because people, they're going to need you. Whether it's you're about to become a new mommy, a new daddy, or you're about to take on a new career or job, or you're about to embark on a path that maybe you've been prophesied that you would be doing a long time ago, and it's going to come. But you got to be in a place where you're energetically ready for all of that. See, we might get the calling, but that doesn't mean just because we got the call doesn't mean that it's time for us to embark on something yet. You can get the call from someone today and say, hey, girl, you want to go here, blah, blah, blah. And that it might be months away before that event happens. So similar. Like Spirit could give you a revelation or a prophecy, but we're so anxious on time and when is it going to happen and this, you know, the time framing of it and the outcome and, oh, what do I got to do? And, oh, it's not happening fast enough, right? But there's a divine order in time. Spirit just telling you that so you can get ready. That's the beauty of it. That could be with anything that you ask for. A home, something with your health, a promise of having a baby or getting married or whatever. You got that time to prepare. And it's like, okay, it's been 2 years. Why am I still here? Why am I still in this job? I thought I was going to get promoted. What's going on, God? What's up? Universe, whatever. I done did all my law of attractions and my prayers and my writing my petitions to my ancestors. What's going on? Like, it's divine time. It's easier said than done, because trust me, like, you would think as a Taurus, patience is a virtue for me. No, the hell it ain't. It's not. It's not. And as a messenger too, like, I hear my spiritual sisters say this all the time, like, why would God tell me this? They're trying to torture me. And Spirit, like, why is Spirit, my ancestors and stuff, why are they telling me this and that? If this ain't gonna happen, why would they tell me? So you can get prepared, so you can be ready. You ain't ready today. Like, let's put it this way. If you had that house of your dreams today, let's say, I don't know, what's that man, whatever his name is, the old white man that walks up to your door with the check. Let's say he pops up to your door with keys to your dream house. You ain't got nothing packed. You still just living how you've been living. You're not ready to move. Say you meet the love of your life today. You ain't gonna recognize him or her because you still stuck on Ashley and Patrick and them. You're not ready. Or you're still bitter over what Ashley or Patrick did to you. You ain't ready. What are you gonna do? Rather than being like, oh, thank you, God, for the grace of time and getting myself together or making myself available for what I want. It's not about being perfect. It's just about being ready, being in the right energy or frequency. If I want to, make it make sense in a way, law of attraction, because if I say it in that way, it might be triggering. But like, if I say it in the law of attraction way, you got to be in the vibrational frequency of what you're asking for. Literally, that's really what it is. Everything is going to happen at its divine time. Like, that's the beauty in divine timing, and I understand that, we're human. We want what we want. It's okay. Like, we're all human, and we live in this society where it seems like everything is at your fingertips. Literally, like, everything should just come easy. You put in an order, it's going to be there within hours, minutes, seconds, whatever. Everything is at your fingertips. But some things do take time. Great things take time. You don't want anything to just be handed to you, because it's just like, where's the journey? Where's the wisdom? Where's the experience? And just getting it easy. Getting it easy. Nobody's going to get married in the next month if they ain't in the space to get married in the next month. No. No. And we don't know everything. I don't know everything. I think people misconstrue like what it means to be a messenger. They think that we know everything, or we're just like these crystal balls where you could just shake us up and we'll have the answer immediately. It doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you might have something that comes to you, but no. Are you ready to get married, or do you just want to be married? There's a difference. Are you ready, or do you just want to be married? So ask Spirit the question, what do I need to do to prepare for whatever you have me for? Even if you don't really know what it is, you just feel like you're in this place of stagnancy. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what's going on. Okay, what am I supposed to be doing? And I've asked that question a lot. And sometimes it takes a minute for it to come to pass or to make sense or for things to unfold. When we hear, like when God speaks, it's not going to always come in the same form. It's not going to be audible for everybody. It's not always going to be an inkling or a knowing. It's not always going to come through a dream or come through a reading or through a number, a synchronicity. Sometimes it could come in just a moment where it's like you just flow into the energy of life and everything will make sense. It just will make sense. Like today, I said to myself, like, Spirit, why are you showing me this? Why is this happening? I don't understand all of this. It took like 2 years, like a year or so, for me to put everything together and say, it's just prophecy coming to pass. That's all it is. Like, it's just confirmation of prophecy coming to pass. And for people to get ready to step into their purposes and their callings. And like I said, the level of influence or the importance of the influence is really subjective. You could think that what you're doing, what you're saying don't hold no weight to nobody. And it could mean a world to someone. You might have changed someone's entire life by something you've done or said or how you've helped them in some type of way. So it's really just, don't think about all of that. And I'm grateful for the people that I've encountered in my journey thus far that reminded me of that. Like, no, it ain't about views. It's not about likes. It's not about numbers. And I know that. Deep down inside, I know that. But as a human, you feel like you're not getting to where you need to be. And that could be from pressure of society or your family or just your upbringing, where you feel like you have to achieve. You have to be an overachiever. You have to prove something to yourself. You have to prove something to people. But the only person that you have to prove your worth and your value, not through external things, but prove and show your value of just yourself, and you got to find that within you, is you and God, source. Your divine identity, like who you are in God's eyes, source, why you were created. You're not going to get the answer from your mother. Not entirely, maybe not. They might be able to give you some insight, but they're not going to be able to tell you the full of that. Because no man or woman can take away your value or your worth nor give it to you. They can't. They don't have the power to do that. We might think that they do because we go through, rejection or where we feel, a sense of abandonment, or we're not good enough because this person's action did this and they did that. But that still doesn't hold weight of your value. That's not a reflection or a manifestation of what your worth is. That's just that person's actions. That's just their choice. The way they chose to move, how they chose to treat you, has nothing to do with you personally. So, yeah, all of this, like, to say, like, you guys, whoever this is meant for, you already know this. This isn't me telling you something new that you're just now hearing about yourself. It might be confirmation. It might be bits and pieces that are coming together with it. But the foundation of who you are, what you've been called to, that's already been given to you already. You'll have divine helpers to remind you and all of that, yes. But the foundation of who you are, you already been given that. You already know. Okay, I know I'm supposed to be a divine helper, intercessor for people, or I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to do this. This is a part of my calling, or you know what I mean? Like, Maybe not in full detail yet. The story of Moses didn't come for no reason. Like, this whole Exodus thing, like the whole, like, Spirit just kept pressing me with that, with different people, just like, okay, I get it. And Moses, like I said, God like came to him in the most crazy way, and he still was like, I can't do it. I can't do this. Why are you calling me to go back to Egypt and free your people? You know what I did in Egypt? I got banished I can't go back there. Like, do you hear me talk? Do you hear how I talk? Like, you want me to, like, speak to people? Like, nah, Ramesses, he ain't gonna take me serious. He probably wants my head. Why am I gonna go back? Because God called you to. And that calling is never going to leave you. It's going to chase you. It's going to continue to chase you in everything that you do. It's going to pursue you. You can run from it, but you can't hide from it. because you're running from yourself, and you're doing a disservice to people that, you know, are part of your path, and you're part of theirs, where you're called to help certain people. So, like, let's just say it's something as mundane or everyday. Like, when I say mundane, not what you're doing per se, but just like the circumstance. Like, you're at work and you hear someone in the bathroom stall crying next to you, and God tells you to speak to that person and give them a message or give them encouragement. You're like, okay, I sound freaking crazy. I should be minding my business. Like, just mind my business. But that's you being used in that moment for that person. You know what I mean? You can post 1, 2, 3 on Instagram, and somebody might be like, thank you, that was my confirmation for something. I was about to do this, and I was about to get on this plane, and God said don't get on it, and that plane, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know. And it might be bigger than that. It like, when I say bigger, it might reach more people at once, whatever you're called to do. You know, it doesn't matter. Like I said, like, the level or the status of the influence and all of that again is really just a subjective thing. That's all it is. It's based off of someone's opinion and their perspective of it. But yeah, and that alleviates a lot of the pressure of caring about what people think too. Like, when you're just like, one person could think someone is successful and someone else could be like, they ain't doing shit. Like, you know what I mean? But what does it matter? Like, who cares? So, yeah, as long as you're walking authentically in your path and you're walking uprightly, and when I say upright, meaning in a positive vibration of energy, which takes courage, right? Where's that little wheel at? Did I save it or did I delete it? I probably deleted it. Let me see if I still have it. That wheel, like where it has the colors, the different color schemes, and it talks about like the different levels of frequencies that you get to. And one of the places where you get out of one of the lowest places is pride. Like, that is the last lower vibrational place you can get to is pride. Then you get to the high level of courage. Courage is that willingness to get out of that place and say, okay, I have the courage to get out of my lower self, whether it's the shame, the guilt, that energy. Especially with desire. Desire is a low frequency too. You can desire something to the point where, you know how you can desire something so bad to where you want it so bad, where you think you're not good enough, you can't have it, or you get obsessive over it, or people get really violent, they steal, they kill for things that they desire. So desire can be a low vibration if it's not transmuted. So the courage to be like, okay, I'm going to pull myself out of that energy. And then the next level is neutrality, where you're just neutral. You're not pressing it. You're like, okay, it is what it is. Like, it, you know, I'm not happy with where I'm at, but I know that this isn't going to last forever. That's being neutral, right? Or I want this thing, like, yeah, I want it, but if it's not meant, I'm open to something better. That's neutrality. Then you get to willingness. You got to get to a place where you're willing to make changes, or you get to, like, we all, like, that is not an easy vibration to get to if you really think about it. Like, those next levels, it's not easy. Hey sis, it's not easy to get to those vibrations of energy. So that's why sometimes when people hear like, just love yourself, or you can do it, all you got to do is do the work, or you just got to believe in yourself, people are just like, they'll get to a place where they're just like, I ain't trying to hear that. I'm in this low vibrational place. I need to know that I don't need to do anything, and it's just going to get better without me having to do anything. I just want it to happen for me. I want you to tell me that my love life is going to happen when I want it to happen. This person loves me. They're going to come back. I don't got to do nothing. I don't have to love myself or open myself up to the idea that there may be something better. I ain't doing that. That's, you know, it's hard to get past that for some people. That's why courage is the next level of the high vibration. Is to be like, okay, the courage to say, this hurts, but I don't want to stay in this energy. I don't want to stay here. I acknowledge the fact. I accept the fact that this is how I feel right now, but I know that I can't be in this energy. I can't stay here. or I accept the fact that this is something that I want, but I'm still open to live my life, or I'm open to the fact that if it doesn't work out with this situation or this person or this thing, that something better will come in its place or is meant for me, period. If this doesn't work out, then that means something is still out there that is meant for me. That takes courage and spiritual maturity even. Let's put it 100. It requires spiritual maturity. So like when you tell certain people certain things, they're not going to register it fully because it's going to trigger the wound of having to take accountability and responsibility for self, because we've been taught backwards that the world owes us something. Everybody owes us something. It's not true. It's not true. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to ourselves. So nobody is going to be able to fix you. You can have people to encourage you, love you, motivate you, and support you, but nobody's going to come and save you. Nobody's going to be that person that just changes everything for you. They'll assist you, but they're not going to be the main culprit. You are. So if you're in the energy of despair and grief and all that, you're not going to be able to register this message. It ain't going to come to you. It's just going to be like, bitch, shut up. Like, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. My mom did this to me. This happened, and this person made me feel like this, and this is happening to me. And you get stuck in that. Trust me, I've been there. We're human. We've probably all been there. I'm pretty sure. 99% of us, like, if you're human, most likely you've been in that energy. But it's only so many people that have the courage to be like, I'm not going to stay in this energy. I'm not doing it. I'm not. So, yeah. I'm going to leave it at that. That was a lot. That was a lot. It's like an hour and 2 minutes in, right? Ooh. All right, well, I hope this message was helpful to somebody. That was just too much for me. After Thursday, I'm probably going to like take a rest, like take some time to like just be, because I know it's like this new, what is it? You're welcome. You're welcome, sis. I know it's like we're in a new energy, spring equinox energy, and it's like all this newness, but I still been like a little bit in this place of still, you know, processing, still being guided to be still, even when I don't want to. I've been wanting to go to the park for like a week now, and it's been raining off and on over here. You're welcome. It's been raining off and on, and then on top of that, it's just like something just happens to be like, no, it's not the time yet. It's just not the time. So when it is time, I'm gonna sit there in that grass. I'm gonna play my singing bowls and my flute and journal, write, pray, release, whatever. Just be, ground, get my feet in some grass, something. Be by some trees. So, because I need it. We all need it. And I need to do some spring cleaning and just energetic clearing in the house. So, like, yeah, definitely do that. It'd be a beautiful time to like throw away things that you don't need or donate things that you don't need. Clean out your house, do like a floor wash. Again, like cleanse your door fronts, your windows, pray over your house, pray over the gateways, the portals of your house. So like I mean, anything can be a portal, but I'm getting like specifically the doors and the windows, maybe even mirrors in your house. Like just pray over these things, bless these things, clean the floors, clean the walls, like if you can reach these things, but like do a complete cleanse. And then when you're done, cleanse your energy, like get yourself clean. You can do like a shower cleanse, you can do a bath, you can of course cleanse from the inside out. So the inside, like maybe like some type of smoothie cleanse or teas or just water fasting, whatever you feel led to, like just do a complete total cleanse when you have the time to, like just clear up your space and your energy and welcome in newness. Okay, if you're up to it and when you're up to it, okay, don't force yourself, but when you're up to it, and like pull yourself out of it. If you're just in this energy, like this low vibrational groggy energy, pull yourself out of it. Ask spirit to like give you the energy and the strength to carry out what you need to do. And if it's meant for you to rest, like spirit will reveal that to you. Okay. All right. So much love as always, y'all. I appreciate you. And yeah, I'll see you guys back soon. I don't know if I'm gonna title this different because I didn't know what to put this as. I didn't want to do nothing too dramatic because I'm like, if I tell what I'm like gonna say in this thing, the live might get shut down or something, like something crazy might happen. So I'm just like, because I'm going live. So if something bad happens to it, then I can't retrieve the live, and I'm just like, dang. So I hope this message has blessed somebody. Share it with someone if you feel like it will be helpful or resonate with you guys. And yeah, much love. Be blessed. Be safe. Peace.